Smart X Pro 3-axis smartphone stabilizer gimbal. Sleeve, still got some writing on the box. It's above and beyond what most do. Not much though. Big chunk, pretty heavy. Looks like a flat USB A to C. A book. One book for this thingy. Looks like a light. It's the power button. Okay, I gotta see what this is. Might be what causes it to do its stabilization. Let me read some directions. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off so this red light's not blinking anymore. Looks like this just screws on to the bottom of here. Gives you your tripod activity. And that's it. Nothing else in the box. Alright, get the box out the way. Alright. So, first thing on the app is, on the directions is to download the app. There's a whole another instruction manual that's not very long, just in a lot of languages. This is the English portion right here, so basically from here across, so not much. On this device, which is the little pill box thing, that's showing gestures and stuff, so that's going to be how you're tracking. So I'm going to read some of this. So, just like I thought it would, the instructions for the little pill box basically shows you the gestures and stuff like I was saying. It's got all the buttons outlined. There's an M button. The M button is right next to the power button. So you hold the power button down and it started blinking blue like you saw when I did it before. And then they give you the symptoms of it, what's going on according to the light situation. So steady blue light, tracking off, green light, gesture, yellow light, alright, so on and so forth. So that's the explanation on that. So then right into this, shows you what comes in the box basically, and then it says quick get started. So pull this open. I was kind of afraid to pull this open because it feels kind of hard, but you flip this up, then this piece can flop around. Yeah, that starts to flop around. So after downloading the app, I had to, I could have screenshotted it, but it was less of importance. I just wanted to play with all the functions and features. It's got an instruction manual that comes with it. It's got a whole bunch of other languages. I kind of separated all of those and made it much smaller. So that's one for just a little top piece right here that tracks you. And this is the rest for the actual body of the device. So it's weird because if you use just this thing, you could probably just use your app that you have on your cell phone, and really I feel like you'd be fine with the tracking and such if you want to do stuff where you're not holding it. Like for the most part, if you're getting something like this, it's because you want to hold it to film, right? So the tracking stuff is probably lesser of importance, but if it's important to you, know that you can use this thing to track, and you just put your phone on, hit the power button, and it's gonna correct. It's gonna do everything it's supposed to do with the app that's on your phone, and you're good. No worries. Now, outside of that, if you use the app that they have, you scan it, you download the app, you do all the things, you can get this thing do facial tracking without this. So you don't really need it. So, these gestures, I don't know if you're gonna film yourself, like you're getting this to do filming of yourself talking and stuff. These gestures might be helpful. They have these gestures on the Peanut as well as on the device app, so you can use the same thing, and it's very predominant on the app because there's like a button that you press like on the screen and turn them off or on, and then you do it. The only one I ever got to work was like this one, which means to start the video, and in 3 seconds it starts counting down. But anyway, I think, you know, with some time spent on it, you probably could. I never used the gestures on this thing though. I only did it on the app. So you got your button presses. They get like, this is all you need for this whole instruction manual, right? Charging indicator, long press, soft press. It tells you what things do. There's only 2 buttons. Simple math, right? This thing is a little bit more complicated. However, there's only one tab that's interesting on you here also. Joystick presses, double click, single click, all of the stuff that tells you what you need to do. There's actually a cool feature on here, wireless charging. So I tried it, my phone went doo-doo-doo, it charged it. However, I think you're probably not going to want to charge, unless you buy a bunch of these 18650 batteries, which I do not have. I might buy another one just to have a spare. And I'm not going to primarily use this. I got this for a shoot that I'm going to do soon. But I'm probably going to do mostly, I got like a cage and then maybe some handheld. And then probably just try this out in areas where I think it might be necessary or useful to have, you know, that stabilization, because I'll be doing a lot of walking around. Or maybe I might fall in love with it and use it for the whole time. But anywho, I don't think I'm going to have the luxury of being able to charge my cell phone from this, because I'm going to want this to be working. So maybe if I get a couple of those batteries though. I don't know. We'll see. Other than that, I'm very happy with the way it levels itself. Every once in a while, I've had a couple of these now. Sometimes they just kind of weirdly turn to the side and start doing something weird. Power it off, power it back on. Sometimes it, you know, pretty much clears it up. Not sometimes. This focus wheel. So I don't exactly know. You know, it's not like you can see the directions don't really cover much. And there's like a tutorial you get where you go down, you know, download a tutorial and all that kind of jazz. Maybe I'll look at a couple of those. When I first turned it on, this was working as a focus wheel. This works most of the time for zoom. So that's very interesting, but that's only when you're using the app. So if you just stick your phone on here and you just want to use it without any complications, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. But if you download the app and, you know, yada, 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 I don't know what causes it to work and not work, but when I first turned on, this worked. But then when I started playing with a bunch of the menus in the phone, trying to check out everything, this no longer worked. So I don't know if it was just the area I was in, which I'm sure that's what it is. Whatever setting I was in wasn't allowing this to work. But the zoom thing kind of works pretty cool. Not that I think I'd ever use that, because I'd much rather just go to the phone screen right above that than to do this. This is a very cinematic slow zoom though. That's one thing. If you're trying to make a very cinematic video, this might be your way to go. But if you're trying to catch something quick, you're going to miss it because this thing is slow. And I think there's even an adjustment on how slow it goes. So there's all kinds of stuff. Pretty happy with that. I don't know how long it's going to last, but the fit, finish, and feel is very quality. It's got this little magnetic door over the 18650. This thing is a light. You push down the button and hold it, and it turns on light to 2 or 3 different brightness settings. Not that I'd want to use that for the most part, because that's going to be taken away from the battery once again. But if you needed it, you needed it, you know, and you got enough batteries, hey, probably perfect. That's all I got to say about it. If I find something negative, I'll update the review. Other than that, thumbs up.
Also a built-in flash. If you tap the power button after you turn the device on, you have 3 levels of light, that's pretty cool. The face tracking, hand motions, listen, the face tracking is pretty good. You can see I'm moving around a little bit, but I can turn that off. It's hit or miss, but it works. We're now over a minute. Screw it. Let's keep going. So face tracking is off. If I want to switch to picture mode while I'm here, I can go bop. I'm not going to hold my hand up because then it's going to stop my recording. But it would stop the recording, switch over to camera, and then I can do like this to start taking pictures or to start a recording. This thing is pretty cool, man. The gimbal itself feels high quality. It doesn't feel like a cheap knockoff. I've never heard of this company before, but they have a quality device on their hands. I would say I've never owned a gimbal before, so I don't really have a point of reference. But I will say, ever since I've owned it, I have been pleasantly surprised by all the features that it has. For the money you pay for, was it like $80, something like that? it's well worth it if you're looking for something. If you plan on doing any kind of video stuff, I've got some stuff coming. I'm working on some tech review kind of things, so I'm playing around with some ideas. So yeah, this is a kind of a fun little addition to my gear that has made video making that much more fun. I'm over 2 minutes now. I'm gonna stop. Yes, there's a little timer on the screen. The app itself is kind of cool. There's a lot of different features. I didn't even talk about the app. There are so many buried options in the settings menu on the app. You can change how fast the gimbal moves when you use the knob, or when it's tracking, how accurate it can be. Just so many things. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised and satisfied with everything that this gimbal has to offer. And with that, bye.
we're gonna test this thing out. It's face follow. It's a little creepy. So I go over here. I'm working in the kitchen. Follows me. Blah blah blah. I'm doing stuff over here. Hi, how are you? Good. I'm gonna walk over here now. It's gonna follow me. I should go down a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, it's a little weird, but I like it. It's cool.